Well, I'm out here taking Leela for a walk and kind of wanted to discuss the housing prices of Calgary and Alberta and Canada. Well, we've allowed corporations to buy residentially zoned properties. So I used to do mechanical engineering for a company that would build boilers or do furnaces and stuff for Main Street. In fact, I still have the key for it. All their properties in all of Alberta, but what they do is they incentivize somebody to move in, or they buy the property with tenants already in it, and they give them a half month's rent with no utilities and stuff, incentivized to get in there. Once you get in there, first or second year, they start throwing in utilities. They up the price to the maximum of what they can allow, and if you move out, then they rent it out for almost twice as much as what you were renting, right? Thus creating this over, and then like people who have want to rent a room or a basement or whatever, they see these prices and it reflects the supply and demand, so they up their prices. Thus you have everybody's prices all up, to a ridiculous amount. It's unsustainable right, at this point. So Main Street for sure have 3 Bankview properties with apartment buildings that are 30 plus units that are totally empty, except staged kind of, but furniture and shit, but nothing personal. You go and do a leak call and you're going around to all the units looking for, knocking on doors, and just the manager fucking from Main Street's there, and they're like, oh no, this is all Airbnbs, they're all empty. Oh, you have 3 apartments here, all empty. Nothing, nobody, right? Waiting for the Airbnbs, that's that's greed, right? And then it artificially inflates the supply, take away the supply part, and the demand goes up, which means the prices go up, right? So that's the kind of state we're in. To remedy this, it'd be a simple solution. The Liberals already made it a rule for 2 years that if you have to be a Canadian citizen to buy a house, right? And that's like coming up to the end of that, and that didn't stop. We still have Airbnbs. We still allow corporations to buy residentially zoned properties, To change that, the only way to change it would be to build more lower income housing, wherever it would be. Nobody wants any of that near them, because they're, entitlement, right? But if we build more lower income housing, right, through the city, right, we wouldn't. That would create more supply. Will thus bring down the demand, and prices like homes would come down. So people who already own homes wouldn't want to vote for that. And the same goes for like regulation on how many homes as a single fucking human you can own. Like, you can't just collect them like Pokemon cards. It's not that's what we're doing. That's how people are, that's the end goal. You buy all these properties and you just sit there and collect rent, right, through a management company, so they get their cut, and you get yours, right? And you sit there in your fucking tower or castle while you collect all this. You're not just making you're fucking making great. But if we just regulated on how many residentially owned properties you could own, as a human, you know, as an 18-year-old fucking Canadian citizen, you know, that would curb that. That would be regulation, but nobody would want to vote for that because that would all of a sudden immediately cut into the profits of, you know, of the people that are using housing as a commodity, as an income, which is fucked, right? And if we don't allow any corporations to buy any type of homes, residentially, you know, even single family homes, by that, you know, that would change. But no, they're buying them, and it's this is where we're at, you know. So at the end of the day, what's needed will never pass because whoever would come up with the legislation for it wouldn't get the votes. It's not a party thing. This is a fucking greed thing. If we change our dynamic of housing as a commodity, you know, then there would be more homes and everything for people. But, you know, there's not. That'll never pass. There's something major would have to happen before that, you know. And the talking points of, oh, it's the student immigrants raising the price, bringing the prices up, and it's, you know, it's all these other problems that, you know, are fucking nothing burgers. That's the what we have to combat, you know. It's, you know, it's kind of one of those, you just have to keep bringing it up, and hopefully enough people will realize that's what's needed, and thus change would happen. I have no confidence that'll ever happen because greed. So, but anyway, the housing crisis in Canada is kind of fucked. I don't really see a party really making any efforts for it to change. You know, it's just things that aren't gonna, not, you know, that to placate, you know, fear mongering, so they don't have to bring up the actual real issue of what the problem is. So, you know, well, anyway, those are my thoughts while I walk Leela around. She's a good cat. She's a good walker. So, all right, baby kitty. Come on. Good girl. All right. Anyway, those are my thoughts on that. Have a good night.